bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Lisnick and this is Comcast Newsmakers. This hour's newsmaker is Julie Hamos, Illinois State Representative of the 18th District. Today we're going to be talking about environmental progress and new laws. Representative, great to see you.
Hi, Paul. Thank you.
Well, the environment is critical. I mean, every time we turn around, we're addressing more problems where cars aren't efficient and all of that. Springfield finally steps in and says we're going to do something about it. Tell us about the Clean Car Act.
Well, that's why I thought it was time to bring people up to snuff on where we are in Illinois. And I do want to mention that before I even talk about the Clean Car Act, there's one thing that we're doing really well in Illinois. A couple years ago, we passed a law that now requires utility companies to buy 2% of their energy from what we call renewable energy.
That kicks in this year.
Kicks in this year. Okay. Wind, solar. Wind, of course, is the big one. Everybody's wondering, where are we with wind development? We hear a lot about it. In Illinois, for the first time, we're starting to see wind farms being developed, and that's because we're making utility companies buy energy from them. So when you create that kind of market, it really works. And that's going to go up to 10% by the year 2015. So this is great news.
So we've got
progress. This is real progress. This is, we are one of the important states that are doing that.
Right.
Now,
let's talk about the cars, because everybody's got cars.
And again, everybody's thinking about that because, of course, with high gasoline prices, people want more energy-efficient cars. We have not been able to get Detroit to respond. We don't know why. I don't know why, as a policymaker. But here in Illinois, we have an important new bill, legislation, that 13 states have already adopted. And this would require lower emissions of pollutants into the air. Cars more energy efficient,
so it puts pressure on Detroit. They have to do something at some point.
Well, here's the good news. 13 states have already adopted this. They're on the East Coast and the West Coast. If Illinois passes this in the Midwest, this would be the tipping point. And we then believe that the rest of the country would follow, and Detroit really would listen. And what we really need to do is to get the car manufacturers to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem.
Now, of course, we have a lot of these cars. I mean, they are done by foreign manufacturers. I mean, is this the problem? We pass these laws, so we end up having to buy foreign cars because American cars don't seem to get it.
This is part of the problem. And also, Canada and European countries are already doing what we want to do in Illinois. So, you know, why are they so much further ahead? We want to create more jobs here in America. We want to have a manufacturing industry of cars. And we know that people really want to make a difference for the environment, but they also want to reduce their energy costs, their gasoline costs. So it's a win-win. And the car manufacturers came to our Environmental Health Committee. They defeated the bill. And they said, you know what, there's no market. People don't want this. And the reason I wanted to come today is to tell people out there that they need to contact their own legislators to make sure they know that the Clean Car Act is one of the important things we can do. It would really make a difference.
It seems like a no-brainer.
Right.
But I also want to tell, we can spend all the time on that, but I want to talk about the energy-efficient building code, because moving forward, you're also stepping in and saying we need to build more energy. It all starts with the home.
And you know what we now know is that if we build the building right in the first place, it'll make a huge difference on day one, with lower utility costs and with reduced energy. Again, win-win.
Of course, does this mean we got solar panels and all this crazy stuff?
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
I'm glad you asked. That's not crazy either.
You know, it's important stuff. But
People are trying to do that as well, and that's their choice. But what this would do is it would create a statewide building code. So 1,000 municipalities, instead of having their own building codes for new buildings, they would use the energy-efficient building code. So that's a big thing right there.
And what would it really translate to? Because that's really what I was after.
The most significant things that a building code can do is better insulation and better windows. And if you do that, and if the builders do that, use better insulation and better windows, sometimes they give an option, and they say to the homeowner, you know, what about a better furnace? That's another great way to have energy-efficient savings.
So even with a little more money, it's something homeowners should do. And this code might require them to do it, or require it to be offered?
No, it would require it. Okay. We would have a statewide building code. Again, 40 states have already done this, because the theory is we're not going to make everybody do this with already existing buildings. But if we start with the new buildings, from this point forward, that's a good way to make a difference.
Great stuff. And finally, it's good to see that good stuff coming out of Springfield.
Thank you.
And the efforts. Thank you, Representative. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Paul. Great.
This hour's newsmaker has been State Representative Julie Hamos, and I'm Paul Lisnick. Thanks for joining us here. This is Comcast Newsmakers. Bye-bye.
The preceding was a presentation of Comcast Newsmakers. Now back to CNN Headline News.